Wednesday, January 17th. Guess what tonight's dinner is? Take a guess. Let me hear it. Thai red curry. Woo! We get to have the curry tonight that I had so much craved last weekend. I think it was Friday, but I didn't cave. I didn't get takeout, and now we're going to make the curry today. I'm going to start this process. This is going to be about 3 steps. And the first step, which I'm going to show you now, easily could be done way ahead of time. I'm going to be making the red curry paste. I've actually never done this before, so we're going to make this together, but it's something that you can make ahead of time and keep in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks, I think. And so you don't have to make it the morning or the day of you're planning on eating. The second step is we're going to infuse our chicken stock. And then the third step is really just to cook the chicken and put it all together. Incidentally, before I turned the camera on, I was kind of getting all of my ingredients ready to make our curry paste. And one of the ingredients is hot chilies. And I don't have fresh hot chilies. I just have dried hot peppers from our garden from previous years. And so I was like putting them in water. I've got them in water right now, just kind of softening up. And I put my hand in and kind of crushed it. And then I went to go wash my face and I put some lotion on my face. Don't do that. Don't do it. My face is burning right here and right because I put lotion under my eyes and on my nose and above my mouth because my skin is just really dry in the winter, and it is on fire right now. Be careful with the hot chilies. Okay, so let's make our paste. So I've got a little food processor here. We're gonna get everything ground up and then just put it in the refrigerator, and then we'll get our stock infused with flavors also. All right, so what do I have here? I found this recipe online. I'll link the recipe down below. But what we have is olive oil, ground coriander, ground turmeric. This is lemongrass. I actually am growing lemongrass in the garden. And if you're not growing lemongrass, I invite you to try that for this year because it's an actually wonderful natural pest deterrent, and it's really good to have. So last fall, I took some of the lemongrass stalks and I freeze dried them. And so this is soaking in some water too. Well, not this, but I have some. And then we're also doing coconut aminos. It says fish sauce. I just don't have fish sauce, so I'm gonna use a little of the coconut aminos. Next is kaffir lime leaves. This is this particular type of leaf. It's native to Southeast Asia. It has like a citrus kind of fruit, and this is a key. These leaves are a key within Thai cuisine. I actually did have these already in my pantry, but I'll link these down below. I bought these on Amazon. Here is my little dish with my 2 dried chilies and some lemongrass, just helping to soften that up. I've got 1 inch of fresh ginger. I always try to have ginger in the house. To me, it's just as ubiquitous as garlic and a shallot or an onion. Always having fresh ginger to me is key. So I've got a small shallot, 3 cloves of garlic, about maybe 2 inches of fresh ginger, and the other things I'd mentioned. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start with the garlic, shallot, and ginger. Whenever I'm working with a food processor and the recipe calls for either 3 of those items, I always start with them. Because if you just throw everything in, I often find that the garlic or the ginger or the shallot still has bigger clumps. So I'm gonna start with those 3, get them pulverized, and then we'll add the other ingredients. So I find it minces it so much better when you do it that way. So we are going to add the remaining ingredients: a teaspoon of ground coriander powder, a teaspoon of turmeric. I'm going to drain the water out of my chilies and lemongrass. It was about 1 lemongrass stalk, maybe about 4 or 5 inches. And then, like I said, I did 2 chilies. I think they were actually habaneros, but they had turned red. So when you're doing the paste, if you're doing a red curry paste, you preferably want red peppers and the turmeric. It helps add to the color. If you are adverse to this kind of spice, and my children are, so I have to be very careful with what I'm doing here today, because I can spice my own bowl up at dinner time. I do not want this overly spicy for them. You could cut the peppers down to 1 pepper, and you could omit the seeds. The seeds are where a lot of the heat are. You could actually also choose very carefully the peppers you're going to use. If you'd rather use a sweet bell pepper, right, and give it that red flavor, a little bit more sweetness, less heat, do that too. I'm gonna add 3 leaves, my teaspoon of turmeric, just eyeballing it here, teaspoon ground coriander, teaspoon of either fish sauce, soy sauce, or coconut aminos. And now I'm going to put in my softened lemongrass and chilies. I'm going to try to be careful with the chilies because, again, I don't want too much heat for my kids. 1 to 2 teaspoons olive oil, and we're going to blend this together. Just as I was afraid of, the lemongrass is very stringy and fibrous, so I might have to pick that out. But before I do so, I'm going to add some water. And try again. Well, it's clearing my sinuses, so that's a good sign. But I think it was a mistake to put the lemongrass in here. It is so fibrous. It doesn't quite smell like the red curry paste you buy in the store. But we're not abandoning this. We're going to see it through because I want this for dinner. You know what? I think I'm going to try to strain through it. That way, we get the flavor without the texture. Because red curry, Thai red curry, or any Thai curry for that matter, yellow or green, should be smooth and creamy. As I was doing this, I had an idea, because it's the lemongrass really that is creating the texture that will be undesirable. I think this year I'm going to harvest lemongrass, either dehydrate or freeze dry it, and then grind it into a powder. I think that actually will be the perfect way to get the flavor and to have, you know, kind of lemongrass on demand at any point in time in the year without compromising on texture. So because I had originally fully anticipated that to be not a total success, I think I was on target with that. The next step I'm gonna do, and you could just jump to this if you'd rather, is I am gonna take a quart of homemade, home-canned chicken stock, put it in my Instant Pot. I'm gonna put it on the slow cook setting, and I'm gonna infuse it. So I'm gonna take more of my kaffir lime leaves. I'm gonna take some of my freeze-dried lemongrass. I also have galangal. Galangal is, from what I understand, kind of an offshoot of ginger. It's a root. It's similar to ginger, totally different flavor profile. Got this on Amazon also. I'll link it below. And it's native to Asia. So this is dried, sliced galangal, and it is amazing. Oh my goodness. So looks like that. I only have a few pieces left, but we're gonna use all of it. So we're gonna infuse our chicken stock. I think I'll add in a little garlic. I will probably also add some more fresh ginger, just to kind of take a lot of the flavors that we made in our paste and get it into our stock. And then this is something you can do the morning of, right? And so when you come home, you just kind of cook your protein, your meat, if you're using a protein, add your vegetables, add a can of coconut cream, serve it over rice, and you've got the most amazing homemade curry. So let's get our stock infused, because we're not going to go to the third step until later today. So I'm only using a quart. I really don't want my curry to be too runny. So I'm thinking, 1 quart of stock to about a pint of coconut cream. I'm also only planning this for 3 meals, really, for me and my kids tonight, because my husband won't be home and they will not take this for lunch leftovers tomorrow. That just won't be their thing. So I only need enough for 3 meals tonight. Add some lemongrass. Some more of those lime leaves. Now, these are things that we're going to strain out before we actually start to cook our dinner. Right now, we're just infusing the stock. I've got about another 2 inches of fresh ginger. I just peeled it and sliced it, throwing that in. Teaspoon of my minced garlic in oil. So we're just gonna leave this sit, slow cook for a few hours. I am so hungry and so ready to eat. I literally raced home so I could get this cooking. So I drained the infused chicken stock, strained out the solids, and I just sliced my chicken. I had 2 chicken breasts. I sliced them and seasoned them with salt and pepper, as you saw. They're in the Instant Pot. I'm just cooking them. And then I'm gonna add in my onions. I sliced about 1/2 of an onion, got some peppers from the frozen bag from the garden, and my bamboo shoots. I'm hungry. I can't even say my words right. So slow down. Once the chicken is pretty well cooked through, I'm gonna add the onions, peppers, bamboo shoots. We'll add our stock back in. I have opened the coconut cream and I opened some more stock because I am beginning to cook the rice. So I've got more stock on the stove. I like to cook my grains in stock, infuse more nutrients, more collagen, rather than just water. And so we're gonna get the rice going too. My paste, which isn't really a paste anymore, is just kind of a liquid, but it does smell good. I'm gonna add that once everything is in the Instant Pot. So I make my own fermented hot pepper sauce. And I decided to freeze dry when I strain out my fermented peppers and then I blend and I kind of strain out a lot of the solids. I freeze dried it and then powdered it. So this is like really spicy powder. Really spicy. Not a Thai spice. This is just like sriracha spice. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that to my bowl so I can have a little heat with my curry. Bon appetit. This'll do. This'll work. See you tomorrow.